911 recordings and the crime scene photos of the tragedy at Sandy Hook be released to the public.
The chief state's attorney is attempting to change the state's Freedom of Information law to keep both out of public view. NewsA's chief political correspondent Mark Davis joins us live now with more on this. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, Keith and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. Crime scene photographs are not routinely released, but they are subject to the state's Freedom of Information law. Now, this change would make sure that none of those photos is ever released in any way, as well as 911 recordings from the Sandy Hook school. State prosecutors had said the final report on the investigation into the tragedy at Sandy Hook would be ready for public release next month. Today, they will only say sometime this summer. But in the weeks remaining in the legislative session, they are working with the governor and lawmakers to limit what is released.
We're concerned largely with the profusion of internet communications.
The chief state's attorney knows that graphic crime scene photos will not be shown on local television or published in local newspapers. But internet sites are another matter.
We think we can carve out a very small exception to our Freedom of Information Act laws to protect these families.
The governor's chief of staff saying, quote, "A lot of people, including our office, have heard the concerns expressed by the families of Newtown victims and are exploring ways to respect the family's right to privacy while also respecting the public's right to information," close quote. Republican State Senator John McKinney represents Newtown and has been in constant contact with the families.
Many are fearful that pictures of their kids as part of the crime scene will be made public. Their other siblings will see those, and it could have a traumatic effect on them and their other kids.
But the chief state's attorney wants to expand it beyond Sandy Hook to keep the lid on some 911 recordings in the future.
Certain 911 tapes we were asking be restricted. For example, somebody being actually murdered during the course of a 911 call, which we've had over the years.
That might apply in Sandy Hook, right?
And it might apply in Sandy Hook, yes.
Right. Now that appears to be somewhat of a revealing answer from the chief state's attorney. This proposed change in law is still being written, but you can read a working draft of the proposed law right now by coming to our website, WTNH.com, and clicking on this story. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.